One of the most stirring travel destinations in the entire Indonesian archipelago is Bali. The island is rich in natural beauty and has attractions for every type of traveler, despite the clamor and mayhem of the main tourist destinations. Surfers travel here for the renowned swells, hikers can ascend jungly volcanic peaks to misty waterfalls, and cyclists can ride through verdant regions studded with ancient towns and rice terraces. With our list of the top Bali attractions and places to visit, you can discover the best activities as well as some of the island's best-kept secrets. Mount Batur. Hundreds of tourists start their ascent of Mount Batur's 1,700 meters every day in the early morning darkness of Bali. When they reach the summit, they observe the sun rising over the luscious patchwork of mountains covered in mist and the caldera far below. This should be at the top of your list if you're seeking for couples-friendly romantic activities in Bali. In the Kintamani district of Bali's Central Highlands, around an hour's drive from Ubud, sits this revered active volcano. It normally takes 2 to 3 hours to complete the very moderate hike along well-marked routes. Ubud Monkey Forest. One of the best things to do in Ubud, Bali, is to visit the monkey forest, also known as the Sacred Monkey Forest Sanctuary. It's also among Bali's top destinations to visit if you're an animal enthusiast or photographer. From Ubud's town center, a 10-minute stroll will get you here. A big part of the allure is the vivid jungle backdrop where the monkeys walk freely, in addition to the amusing army of gray long-tailed macaques who call this place home. Paved paths wind through lush woods of enormous banyan and nutmeg trees, where ancient temples and statues covered in moss protrude through the thick undergrowth and give off an almost supernatural vibe. Tagalalang and Jatiluwi Rice Terraces. At the top of your list of places to see should be the Tagalalang or Jatiluwi Rice Terraces. One of the most well-known locations to shoot these classic vistas and take in their timeless beauty is the Tagalalang Rice Terraces, which are about a 30-minute drive north of Ubud. Be advised that villagers frequently demand admission and parking fees along the road and along the most well-known trail through the area's rice fields. The Jatiluwi Rice Terraces, which are about 90 minutes drive from Ubud and span more than 600 hectares of rice fields along the hillsides of the Batukaro mountain range, are typically less crowded than Tagalalang. Seminyak Shopping. Bali is known for its flamboyant designers and fabulous shopping, and you'll find the best examples of Balinese design along the busy streets of Seminyak. Cutting-edge designer fashion, surf and swimwear, jewelry, furniture, and homewares are just some of the items you can buy at the chic shops and busy market stalls here. Besakih Temple. The largest and holiest Hindu temple complex in Bali, Pura Besakih is more than 1,000 years old and is renowned as the Mother Temple for a reason. Pura Besakih, the spiritual hub for the Balinese people, is comprised of a number of numerous temples and is situated in a breathtaking location on the southern slopes of Mount Agung, at a height of 1,000 meters. Largest is Pura Pengantar Agung. This temple complex is surrounded by lush rice terraces and forests, and numerous significant festivals are held here. If you're lucky, you'll get to see one while you're there. Kuta Beach. One of the hippest spots to visit in Bali, along with the nearby Legian and Seminyak beaches immediately to the north. Particularly if you're a novice surfer or just want to take it all in. One of the greatest locations for young tourists seeking a more energetic atmosphere than the quiet beach resorts have to offer is Kuta Beach. Numerous cafes and restaurants line the beach, and you can reserve surf lessons and rent surfboards, boogie boards, sun loungers, and umbrellas straight from merchants set up on the sand. An iceberg cold coconut gushing with juice given immediately to your sun lounger can be a blessing on a hot day. The Sidemen Valley. The emerald-hued Sidemen Valley, which is 90 minutes drive northeast of Ubud, has the atmosphere of old Bali before the island's tourist hordes arrived. As cascading rice terraces and sleepy villages coexist in the valley, cloud-covered Mount Agung watches over the scene like a protective sentry. Walking around the little towns is one of the highlights of a trip here. In this area, which is bordered by farms and rice paddies, the residents continue to care to their traditional occupations. Alternatively, you can stroll through the verdant countryside and rice fields past cocoa and coffee plantations to reach Mount Agung's top. Tirta Empul Temple. In the lush tropical forest of central Bali, the Tirta Empul temple provides a look into a ceremonial purifying ceremony. 3 courtyards make up this significant temple complex, which is a designated National Cultural Heritage Monument. The main attraction is a sizable, rectangular pool that is fed by a sacred mountain spring and where villagers gather to pray and take baths in the therapeutic waters that flow from a number of artistically crafted spouts. It's best to first seek a knowledgeable guide if you want to participate in the residents' cleansing process to ensure that you respect their traditions. Pura Tanah Lot. One of Bali's most famous temples is Pura Tanah Lot, which is located about 20 kilometers northwest of Kuta. A big wow element is its stunning seaside location on a rocky islet surrounded by pounding surf. It is one of the most revered sea temples on the island for the Balinese people. Every evening, hordes of visitors from Kuta, Legian, and Sanur navigate a maze of lanes lined with souvenir vendors in order to see the sun set behind the temple. It is believed that the priest Nirartha, who begged nearby fishermen to build a temple here after spending the night on the rock outcrop, was the inspiration for Pura Tanah Lot, which was constructed at the start of the 16th century. Uluwatu Temple. Due to its stunning clifftop location, Uluwatu Temple is among Bali's most well-known temples. It guards one of Bali's top surf areas over steep sea cliffs. Similar to Pura Tanah Lot, the greatest time to visit is at sunset, when the sky and water sparkle in the waning hours of the day. The temple is thought to have megalithic origins and date to around the 10th century, according on archaeological finds in this area. From the temple's entrance, a picturesque path wends its way, passing breathtaking vistas. Only Hindu worshippers are permitted inside the temple, but it's well worth a visit for the scenic location and daily sunset kikak dance performances. Ubud Art and Culture. Balinese art and culture are centered at Ubud. The nearby royal palaces and temples served as the primary supporters, and this is where the contemporary Balinese art movement began. Today, a number of top-notch local museums and galleries honor its traditions and evolution. As many collections are situated in traditional Balinese structures surrounded by tranquil tropical gardens, looking at art here is especially rewarding. Your first stop should be the Nika Art Museum and Agung Rai Museum of Art, both of which are close to the Ubud Monkey Forest and provide an overview of Balinese art. Pura Ulun Danu Bratan. One of Bali's most beautiful temple complexes is the 17th century Pura Ulun Danu Bratan. It is located in the chilly highlands of central Bali on a small island near the western edge of Lake Bratan. The thatched temples reflect in the lake and, as the water levels rise, appear to float on the surface as they are set against the towering backdrop of Gunung Bratan. The temple complex is devoted to Dewi Danu, the goddess of the sea and lakes, and Lake Bratan serves as one of Bali's primary supplies of irrigation and drinking water. The Buddhist stupa with statues of Buddha meditating in the lotus posture in niches on the square base is an interesting feature. Nusa Dua Beach. Here, you may unwind on a cozy sun lounger with a refreshing beverage in your hand while listening to the lazily lapping surf on the soft, white sands. This is a gated resort enclave on its own private peninsula, so you won't receive the same cultural experience you would elsewhere in Bali, but if peace and relatively unpolluted dunes are what you're looking, this is the place. This large stretch of coastline is home to some of Bali's finest luxury beach resorts, and resort staff members make an effort to keep the sand tidy and free of rubbish. Walking for miles along the beach, swimming, surfing, parasailing, and sunbathing are all popular activities in Nusa Dua. The Nusa Islands. Want a slower-paced Bali without the tourists, the traffic, or the crowds? It may be found on the Nusa Islands. Couples who want a little more peace and quiet than they might find on the mainland will find them to be a lovely destination in Bali. Nusa Lempuyang, which is the most well-known of the 3 islands and is only a 20-kilometer speedboat ride from Sanur, is the closest to Sanur. The major activities are surfing, snorkeling, diving, kayaking, and stand-up paddleboarding, and the top sites are Mushroom Bay, Dream Beach, and the Devil's Tears Rock Outcrop, where you can see the surf breaking over the rocks. Lempuyang Temple Complex. One of Bali's holiest temples, Pura Lohar Lempuyang, is also one of the most difficult to get to. The temple is located at the end of a calf sculpting climb that ascends 1,700 steps through the humid jungle to a height of about 1,200 meters. Along the trip, keep an eye out for the gray long-tailed macaques scurrying through the jungle. Depending on your level of fitness, the trek to Pura Lempuyang typically takes between 1.5 and 2 hours. However, when you reach the summit, you'll be rewarded with the mystic beauty of an old artifact as well as breathtaking vistas. To shorten the journey, you might be able to pay a local to ride a motorbike with you to the end of the asphalt road. Sekumpul Waterfall. Many people believe Sekumpul Waterfall to be Bali's most stunning waterfall. This unassuming tourist destination is actually a collection of around 7 falls that cascade like long, foggy veils over the edge of a beautiful, jungle-covered cliff in the Singaraja district, about 66 kilometers north of Ubud. The 3 to 4 hour round-trip journey passes through lush tropical jungle before passing through local villages bordered by rambutan and durian trees and rice terraces. It can be challenging at times because you have to go across a river and descend slick steps, but once you get there, you can cool off with a cool swim at the base of the falls.